one. This is part two of how I got my dog back after being carjacked. This is a manifestation story, you all. The whole point in me telling this story is to share with you all the amazing manifestation tips that helped me pull off what no one believed I could do but me, which is key when you're manifesting for yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, it's about what you think. So, this final chapter is when I get disco back, and then like a summary of all the things that I kind of realized, the lessons that were attached to this whole experience. So, before we get to the morning of when I got disco back, there's one other story that I wanted to share, sub story, that I feel tied into me getting him back that happened the night before I got him back. So there was a friend of mine that I was not on speaking terms with. Um, and well, I wouldn't say that we weren't speaking. We weren't like, oh, I'm not talking to this person, but we weren't in communication, really. We just weren't checking in on each other. And it was kind of because of just some tension that we had between us. And so the night before I got disco back, I had made it back home from looking for him, and she called me, and we ended up talking. Of course, she called concerned about disco. She heard about what happened, and we ended up talking and kind of hashing out our grievances. And all I can say is, at the end of that conversation with her, it was like some type of release that I can't really describe, but the resentment that I had towards her had been lifted, and just the whole situation with my dog just trumped any issues that we had, and just what it meant for me that she reached out, despite the fact that we weren't really talking. So that happened. This is the night before. This is the night before the morning slash afternoon that I find out that disco had been found. So now it is the morning that I find disco. I did my usual. If you watch part one, you'll see I was going to sleep listening to affirmations, saying that I had gotten my dog back. And I went to sleep visualizing him being there with me. So I did that same routine. I get up that morning, um, trying my best to remain in a positive mindset, visualizing having him back. This was something that I tried to repeatedly do, even when disco, don't knock the camera over. If you see the camera shaking, it's because disco is moving around right now, like repositioning himself next to the camera. Anyways, so, I mentioned this in part one that whenever I felt like I was thinking a negative thought or feeling heavy or depressed about getting him back, I would always counter it. When I caught myself, I would always counter it with me visualizing having him back. So I get dressed, I'm getting ready to leave out, and I put down his food. This is something I did every day. Put food and water out for him, like he was already home. And before I could even get out the door, I got a phone call from a toll-free number. And I answer the phone, and it is, I don't know if I mentioned this in part one, but I had him microchipped. He's microchipped, and so when the carjacking happened, I immediately reported him lost slash stolen under the microchip. So the microchip company calls me and tells me that he's been found. And they transferred me to the veterinarian clinic, office, whatever, that had scanned him and the microchip came up. And I get on the phone with them. They tell me they have disco. They tell me, oh, there's this woman and her kids that brought disco in. Um, Let me tell that part. I want to mention a little side note in reference to what the veterinarian office did, but let me tell you about the person who had disco first. So according to her, disco, the day of the carjacking, came to her back slash side door. He was standing there shaking from head to toe, and her two daughters were begging her to let disco in. And she was like, no, we're not bringing this stray dog in the house. And she said she looked up like 5 hours later and he was still back there, just shaking from head to toe. So she ended up bringing him in her home. Her daughters fell in love with him. He smelled like smoke. Remember, the car was set on fire. If you watch part one, the car was set on fire. So it looks like he was in the car when it was set on fire, because Disco naturally has like a little mohawk going down his back. I'm gonna, at the end of this video, post a photo of him so you guys can see what he looks like. But he had kind of has a natural mohawk going down his back. His mohawk was singed from, I guess, him catching on fire, almost catching on fire. I don't know. But I am just so grateful to God for putting angels around him and getting him out of there. So they gave him a bath and everything. And they were bringing him into the clinic to get him checked out. Now, something else, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in part one. Disco had tags. He had a tag with his contact information, and I have like an amber collar and stuff for him. However, his vet that I take him to told me that his bling was too heavy, that he had too much bling. And so whenever we were in the car, I would take that off of him. And then when we get ready to get out the car, I would put it back on him, because I had planned on getting him like a lighter tag since the vet said it was too heavy. But until then, I only put it on him when necessary. So since we were in the car, I would take his collar and stuff off. And when we get ready to get out the car, I would put it on. I mean, who would think that you would get carjacked and your dog would need his tag and collar in the car? So his tag and collar were in the car. They weren't on him, for anyone who's wondering like how that went. So I'm saying that to say, in reference to the woman that found him, she had no information to contact me, since his tags and stuff were still in my car. And so she took him to the vet, to get him checked out and get his shots and stuff, never expecting him to come up as reported lost or stolen. So fast forward, or come back to when the vet called me. I told them what happened. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm on my way right now. They asked, or the woman that had him offered to bring him to me. And I said, no, I am on my way. Keep him there. And I'm saying that because I don't know this woman. Like, I don't want to take any chances on them not bringing my dog to me. Because remember, she didn't go into the vet like, hey, is someone coming here looking for their dog? No. She came in there to get him checked out, to make sure that he was healthy and it could stay with her. So for all I know, she's going to take my dog, and now that she knows he's microchipped, try to maneuver around that. I don't know. But my point, I'm telling you guys this for a reason, especially anyone who is looking for their dog, or that has their pet microchipped, or God forbid is ever in a similar situation as myself. When I hop in the car with my friend, we raced to get there. I mean, it couldn't have taking us even 25 minutes tops to get to the vet to get Disco. And when I get there, I get to the vet and they tell me, "Oh, the woman she that brought him in has him." And I'm looking at them and I'm like, "Why? Like why would you give this person my dog back? You all called me, I reported him lost slash stolen, and I told you I was on my way to come and get my dog." Man, I just want you all to be aware, just quick side note on that, that there are some people that have their pets microchipped and they don't want them back. And so these vets, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they have had experiences where people say they're coming to get their pet and they don't. And so I guess that's why they gave Disco back to this woman. But this was good vets downtown Chicago. I'll give them some grace, but not a whole lot because I told them my story. I told them what happened. I said I was carjacked. I said I had been looking for my dog. Like, what more do I have to say for you to know that I am coming for my baby? I'm not going to not come and pick him up. Not to mention, I would like to believe that they could see when the dog was reported lost slash stolen. It had only been 3 days. Whatever. We're back to the manifestations tips and the positive part of this story. Thank God this woman was a decent human being and was sitting outside that vet waiting on me to get there. Probably hoping I wouldn't show up because of the way the vet was thinking, but I don't know. They point the woman out. She's in the car, or the woman gets out the car and asks if I'm the person looking for Disco. And Disco and I are reunited. Okay, this is not the end of the story. Stick around because there are some more gems as I wrap up. For one, if you watched part 1, then you will remember I said that I so intensely visualized in my meditations, getting my dog back, that I literally in the meditations was crying tears of joy from having him back. It was that intense. You would think when I got my dog back, I would be all happy and crying or whatever. I was definitely happy, but I don't know how to explain it. Like for some reason, I wasn't at that level of, I wasn't that emotional because I had been so intensely visualizing having my dog back that I don't know if very matter of fact is the right term, but it was like I had already dipped into this energy so much in manifesting getting him back that when I got him back, it felt amazing. I was very happy, but I just didn't have the emotional reaction that I thought I was going to have. And so the woman and her 2 daughters, she had a 6-year-old daughter that was just crying because she thought she had her a dog. And, they came in there just to get him checked out, never thinking I was going to come and get my dog back. And in all fairness to them, not knowing that anyone was even looking for him. Even though I did have flyers all throughout their neighborhood, but hey, I do believe them when they say they didn't see the flyers. So, where do we go from here in the manifestation tips? I think to wrap up what I learned in the experiences through looking for Disco and getting him back. For one, man, it taught me a lot about what matters and what doesn't. And it was like in that first day especially, I remember something else. Okay, I got to get this out. Because I really do believe this was also another huge part of me manifesting getting him back. And I don't remember if I mentioned this in part 1, but if I did, then clearly this is even more important because I'm bringing it up again. I unintentionally detoxed while looking for my dog. And what I mean by that is I had no appetite, because I was truthfully stressed, depressed, you know, looking for my dog. I had zero appetite. So, but for those of you who watched part one, you know that this was in the middle of the pandemic, and I just couldn't afford to get sick. I couldn't afford to go down and not have the strength to look for my dog. So what I did was I was getting fresh juice from the grocery store and taking shots of wheatgrass to keep my immune system up, to keep my energy up, so that I could continue to look for him. But I didn't eat anything. Those are only two, in water. Those were the only three things I was consuming: fresh juice, wheatgrass, and water. So I really was detoxing while looking for him as well, which I think fasting, detoxing is an incredible way to accelerate your manifestations. Had to say that. Ooh, that's the gem for part two. That is the gem. How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to sacrifice food? Whew, yeah. So, okay, coming back to the what I was saying before that is that um especially the first day that I was looking for him and he was missing, I almost felt like I was outside of myself, just seeing how people move and just what people focus on, what I focused on, and little things that happen. Like I remember going into Whole Foods to get me some sage real quick. And hold on. And I remember like there was someone in Whole Foods that just was kind of nasty towards me. And if I wasn't going through what I was going through, I might have checked them. I might have responded. I might have talked to a manager, who knows? But because of what I was dealing with, man, it just made me realize what was important. And it was just like this person giving me this little attitude doesn't mean anything. Like these things that would have normally either triggered me or got a response out of me through those whole 3 days, it was like a numbness, but also a realization of how just unimportant they were. And yeah, that whole experience just really made me realize what was important and how small these things were that we allow to upset us, trigger us, get a response out of us. And let me be transparent with you guys. That happened, the carjacking happened in 2021. So it's been what, 5 years now? So the carjacking was May of 2020, not 2021. I don't know what made me say 2021. I have not been perfect with taking that realization that I had with me of what's important and what's not. But when I fall off, I really try to go back to that and remember that feeling, that realization. It's just like what I was experiencing at that time just brought me above all the pettiness, all the BS that gets to us every day. And I try my best to tap back into that as much as I can when I find the small things getting to me. And you know what? Yeah, man. With that said, I am going to wrap part two up on that note. Yeah, I'm not even going to drag it out. Listen, if there was any key manifestation tip in there for anyone watching, comment, like, subscribe, let me know that I was right in feeling called to share this story and that people needed to hear it. I've been sitting on this story for a while, and it just was packed with so many gems for me on manifesting that I knew there were other people that needed this, that's on the brink of accomplishing their goals. By the way, it was 222 on the 2022 on the timer when I said that, for those who are into angel numbers. But yeah, I really want to hear from you all on how you feel about part 1 and 2. Yeah, I can't wait to drop this. I'm excited. Oh, and so at the end of this video, I'm going to edit it and drop a photo of Disco for those of you who want to see him. Because he's kind of funny acting about getting on camera. Disco, are you going to say bye? Like, this story was all about you. Are you going to get on camera, or do I need to put a photo? He is so comfortable right now. And Disco is about 12 years old. That's the guesstimate from the city pound. So, yeah, he's in his ways. Like, if he don't want to do it, he ain't doing it. So I'm not gonna force it. I'll put a cute photo of him at the end of this video. And for those who stuck around and listened to the whole story and appreciated it, thank you for tuning in. And I got more stories like this, more manifestation stories to share. If you guys appreciate it and give me a pom pom shake, letting me know that, hey, this resonated for you all.